The Koi Fish Dragon. There was once a fairy mermaid who lived in the water. She was breathtakingly beautiful, with her rainbow wings and iridescent scales. And she loved to dwell in sunshine beams that shone through the water. Everything sparkled around her when she soaked in the sun. She felt a deep and abiding love for light. As happy as she was, sometimes she felt the need for something more. She didn't know how to describe this pull to explore other waters. This longing came mostly at night, in the light of the full moon. It bathed everything in a soft glow and filled her with a yearning that she could not name. She lived among a community of koi fish and began to speak of it to them. She described her love of the light, particularly the sunlight, and how she spent her days seeking sunbeam after sunbeam. One day she peeked her head above water and saw, in the distance, a golden light orb. She knew instantly that she had to try and travel there, and told the koi fish of her plan. A small group of the koi offered themselves to accompany her on this pilgrimage. They also felt the appeal of the light, being of golden colors themselves. This deep curiosity, plus their intention to keep the fairy mermaid safe, sealed their decision to leave with her the next morning. That night she couldn't sleep for her excitement. She sat in a favorite seagrass garden and looked up at her fairy friends who lived above the water. She could see their light trails as they buzzed by, and this never failed to soothe her soul. One of the kois, who was the only all-golden koi, couldn't sleep either. He encountered her while out for a late-night swim. He told her of his admiration for her determination. "You're the bravest being I know," he said. She acknowledged the compliment humbly, with a small smile and nod of her head. They sat and swung together side by side on the seagrass, gazing at the moon and fairy lights, each feeling happy and inspired. Bright and early the next morning, the small group started out on their mission, swimming upstream toward that golden light that hung in the sky. They soon passed by the last watermark of their known territory, an area of underwater logs that was home to families of turtles. The turtles, sensing that this was some sort of spiritual quest, nodded and blessed them with their kind eyes as the group passed through. They shortly arrived to a small yet powerful waterfall. The koi were uncertain as to how to proceed, and after some debate, it was decided they would try jumping up and out with enough strength to land in the pool above. This took heart, knowing that they might land on the rocks outside of the water instead. Despite this risk, they all tried, only to plop back in the churning waters. Then the one gold koi shared a plan for the others to jump to different heights in the air, and he launched himself out of the water to bounce off them, rebounding off higher and higher. In his last leap from the last fish, he hung spectacularly in the air, droplets glistening and the sun's rays refracting rainbow prisms off of his body before splashing down in the top pool. It was such a show of bravery and perseverance that he was rewarded by the powers that be. He was granted the chance to become a great dragon of the sky, the closest creature to the sun. Thankful and humbled, he asked if he could possibly become a dragon and yet still remain in the water, for he did not want to part ways with the fairy mermaid. She was like the sun to him. His wish was granted. He was transformed into a majestic golden sea dragon and lived happily among the seagrass with her, where he was celebrated for his courage and perseverance forevermore.